cousins, welcome to my channel. I'm Lady C and I'm here to see if the juice is worth the squeeze. Like and subscribe if you're new and run it up in the comments. Let me know what's real. Now, dear beloved, we are gathered here today to talk about the Real Housewives of Atlanta season 16 episode 10, girl.
Ladies and gentlemen.
So, girl, sorry I'm late, but I'm here and I'm here to talk about everything, girl. Let's talk about this juice.
Please, I don't have any time for any gossip now. Eh? Yes.
Now, episode 10, it wasn't a whole lot.
I don't think the juice is worth the squeeze.
I know I say that and then I proceed to run my mouth for at least 30 minutes. But I'm going to try to keep it really, really short and really, really cute.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying?
Now, first things first. Kelly, I love you, girl. For fake, kind of. But your confessionals look this episode was gorgeous. I'm just not with the Who from Whoville ringlet that you had at the top of your head. It was very cute when you had the flippy flips and it was like a thicker piece. But this, girl, it's giving Horton Hears a Who, girl. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. We are talking about Kelly and her daughter is having some trouble, bringing her grades up, and she's kind of stressed out about it. And she's saying that her dad is kind of, tough on her. And she mentions that her and her eldest child's father are like besties, but her and, the ex-husband or future ex-husband, it ain't given. So we own her, we off of her, okay? The real meat and potatoes of this episode, partially, the dinner with Blockhead Ralph. Shamina, girl. Yeah, so I know you've been, fighting for your life, all in the comments, all on the blogs and everything.
I'm fighting for my life. Y'all killing me with this.
You are never beating the allegations. You are a bird ass bitch, because ain't no way that you're going to convince any of I don't give it. Listen, you had one episode, a piece of an episode with Ralph on a podcast. Please do not link it to, oh yeah, we've done so much business together. No, ma'am. Shamina, I want you to seek help. For real.
Get some help.
It's starting to feel like you're not playing with a full deck. It gotta be. Because there's no other way to explain some of your moves, girl. Like, no. Girl, like, and here's the thing. I know you know. So, like, either you just that slow or you are just that conniving. And I'm going to go with option 2. Okay, you are very conniving, and that is why you and Big Po are besties. And speaking of Big Po, she comes waddling her big ass in, girl, looking just like Snuffleupagus. And she called her Snuffleupagus, and I had just posted a whole bunch of stuff with a picture of Snuffleupagus, because baby, when I tell you Snuffy got that big old wide back waddling behind him and that big long face and them super huge eyelashes, girl, when I tell you Porsha is Snuffy, all right, girl, but we gonna call her Big Po right here. She walks in and then they get to ordering up the whole menu, and I say good for y'all. I hope y'all ate very well, okay, on his dime, okay, because he deserves to pay up in some form or fashion. But I just find it just so strange that you guys decided that it will be okay to have dinner with somebody who is a op to a woman. And I get it. You only care to be girls with girls that you deem to be safe around y'all. Because if we're being clear, if you were any type of girl's girl, every situation and circumstance would have never happened. The way Shamina moves, I know she was the wing woman for Simon. I know it. Her, Big Po, and Fallon were all seated together for that infamous photo, hanging out. And now, all of a sudden, 9 months later, you riding off to the sunset with her ex-husband. Like, girl, when I tell you, Shamina, you get nothing, not sympathy, not nothing from me. You are her accomplice at this point. Like, you will be the one that knows where all the bodies are buried. And probably vice versa. You know what I'm saying? But long story long, the way Shamina deserves every tear, every read, everything that heifer gets, she deserves. Okay? And I don't care. The only thing that I'm not gonna, go up against is her kids. They innocent. But other than that, girl, I don't see it for you. I don't care about how Porsha treats you. I don't care that Porsha's not a good friend.
But we don't care.
Your delusion disguised as loyalty. I don't care about any of that. I don't care, girl. I don't. Blockhead Ralph is trying to gather some information up out of Shamina and Porsha and vice versa, right? But then something happens during this little meet and greet, girl. Shamina and Porsha end up having a little spar match, okay, right there in front of Blockhead.
That's not it. A little extra, but okay, whatever. All right, okay. Well, thank you so much for being around. Oh, I forgot you was here, Cheryl.
I know.
You can see a little bit of chinks in the armor of their friendship break down right in front of Ralph, and Ralph didn't know what to do. Oh, but hold on, because the lies that y'all love to tell. For Shamina and Porsha to lie and say that Drew said something about Portia's child. Girl, when I tell you, y'all are disgusting. Drew didn't even do a 10th. When I tell you they are so self-centered and male-identified to the point where they almost behave as men, where you can do a small little thing and they ready to die and go throw themselves in front of a running train, but they can do absolutely everything. You just supposed to sit there and take it. What I tell you, they are two of a kind. I can't stand them. I can't stand them. Oh, girl. So Kelly shows up to one of Angie's properties and Angie's showing her around. And of course, Kelly just got to be a little nice, nasty with a little bit of shade. And I'm not really mad at it. But it's just so unwarranted because Ange has literally done absolutely nothing to Kelly for her to have all of these like unwarranted opinions about Ange. And Ange got her good too in a confessional.
You have 3 walls. Don't you want 4 walls? Make an offer on this house and it is yours.
How are you shading Ange's house from a cubicle Monopoly house, girl? Like, how you doing that? I don't understand. But I digress. They get to addressing the elephant in the room, and Kelly gives a barely apology to Ange. And Ange, when I tell you, Ange knows how to work a show. She knows. Nobody in their right mind that's not taping and recording a show would accept that lame ass apology. But Ange is like, okay, girl, I accept your apology. And she's like, well, I apologize if, and I'm like, if. Girl, if. Girl, when I tell you that grinds my gears, don't apologize if you're going to say if. I apologize if that made you... No. I want you to acknowledge the wrong you did. And if you can't do that, don't even give me an apology, okay? It's fine. I'm not going to die without it, all right? So, and let's bygones be bygones. And they address the rumors that were going around about her husband. And so Angela says, okay, listen, girl. No, he didn't have a side baby. When we separated earlier in our marriage, there was some infidelity going on, and we've worked through everything, and we're in a better place. I don't have any feelings about that. I know there's a lot of chatter about her son, but from my understanding, this is just my understanding, they've been together as of 2024. They've been together for 10 years, married for 8, correct? That son was 11 on the show. So it looks like the son was older than their relationship. So I don't know what this whole narrative, well, who's so-and-so's mama or daddy or whatever. Who does the girl, I don't think that son has anything to do with any of the drama between them two. I just don't. So now we get to
You in Bangkok, sweetie. There's a reason they don't call it Bangkok.
Britt. And now the narrative is mom is about to invade our privacy. And I'm just like, girl, hang it up.
Hang it up, flat screen.
Let your mama move into her little apartment in a high rise in the sky and be done with it, because I'm just so tired of this fake storyline that you're trying to paint, and the way you're painting it is given that you do not fool with your family and your family kind of don't fool with you.
Since you got your degree and you know every fucking thing.
I can kind of see why they wouldn't fool with you, because you're the baby of the family. So therefore, you're probably the most self-absorbed, self-centered person. And they have made their world revolve around you. So therefore, you believe that the world actually does revolve around you. And that's kind of how you just been moving throughout the show. And prime example with Angela. You started a fight with Angela and then got mad because Angela bested you. Whose fault is that? Girl, how about you just sit some of these situations out and just let it be what it's gonna be? But the thing is, you keep trying so hard for a moment, and these moments keep having you. And it's just like, girl, girl. You just got, with a moment, you gotta let it fall in your lap. Have an authentic disagreement with another person or a castmate. But for you to get into all of these disagreeable moments with people and it's self-inflicted, nobody feels for you. Nobody wants to side with you. And then we start to peek into how lame you appear to be. You could be a beautiful person. You could have a great personality, but we're not seeing that because we're just tuned into how entitled and self-absorbed you are. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, girl, she gets to talking about her sister and how the husband said he was gonna meet with her or already met with her. I don't know, girl. Long story long, because that comes up later in the episode, but girl, I'm gonna go ahead and say it now. Girl, Britt, you are the problem. You are the reason why your family probably don't fool with you. You make up reasons why you can't spend time with your sister. Your sister probably has done nothing to you but be there and always have your back. And now you feel like, girl, when women like to other themselves, I'm married now. You wish you had a life like me. Every time she wants to hang out, you throwing your husband up under the bus, trying to make it seem like he's the reason why y'all can't hang out when it's actually you. So it's just like, girl, you and your Men in Black alien husband can just go have a seat, girl. Okay, just girl. On this journey to 1,000 subscribers, I just want to say this episode is sponsored by you. Thank you so much for your support and helping me along this journey. Your support keeps me encouraged. It keeps me going. It keeps me wanting to make more content. Hopefully you like what you see. So if you like what you see, girl, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, girl. I won't bite, okay? All right, now let's get back to the show. Okay, so Big Poe and Ange link up for a tennis match at one of Angela's properties because, honey, you can't be talking about humping on somebody's husband and think you just gonna get an invite to the palace, all right? It just don't happen like that. So they meet up at one of her properties. Then they have a little heart-to-heart conversation. Angela brings up the fact that Shamina, I think her and Drew had a conversation after the bank, and they were talking about how Shamina doesn't really want to stir the pot when it comes to Porsha, how she's really uncomfortable bringing certain things up to her and that she's kind of fearful. And we've all witnessed that. It's not a secret, right?
Porsha is a bad friend because if every time you call me, I can be there for you, but you can never be there for me, in my opinion, it's a bad friend.
Yes, dog Shamea out. Treated her like and now she doesn't even want to go to the girl's wedding. So to me, I'm like, you really need her as your friend.
So they had a conversation, and this is how I think it went down, right? So I believe that after the bank, it was a whole lot of commotion between Kenya, Britt, and everything. And so they all decided to link up, have little, drinks and appetizers after the bank. And maybe, Shamina was drinking a little bit and she got a little comfortable. And Angela probably brought up the fact that Porsha was shading her at the table about the song.
Are you on it? Porsha, stop.
That's how I see it. I think that the reason why Shamina opened up in the first place was because she was already in her feelings about that song that Porsha refused to acknowledge that belonged to Shamina.
Your ears didn't listen that whole time.
Porsha's being shady.
You never heard your best friend's music?
Yeah, that's how I believe it happened. And then Porsha was like, well, girl, she also said some stuff about my daughter. And so Angela cleared that up too. And Porsha made a good point, which I also thought as well. Every time that you say anything about or around Porsha, she takes everything you say and then adds her own little sauce on it. And it's very, very evident. I noticed it a few weeks ago. And I also mentioned it too, because it's like, okay, Shamina, like, why do you keep adding, like, you want to inflate what was said to almost appear like you're a good friend. And to me, it's kind of desperate, if you ask me. And I think that her need her need for approval from Porsha, she's like, oh yeah, see what they did? They said all these mean things about you. You see what they said? I'm such a good friend because I don't do that, because I'm a good friend. I'm a loyal friend. And I just think that she does add that sauce on it to then elevate herself in the ranking for the Best Friend of the Year award. You know what I'm saying? So I do find that to be a little disturbing, and I feel like, Shamina, you need therapy, okay?
Stop it. Get some help.
So once Angela says what Shamina told her or how she felt, Porsha starts to cry.
Sorrows, prayers.
And I found that to be annoying, because every time you are confronted about your ways, you always deflect and use crying to get out of the situation.
She tell you like that so you get off. We never take arguments.
There's no tears even coming out your eyes.
If you don't want to talk about it, you just start crying. Because you know that tears make people uncomfortable and tears get people to get up off of you. Now, very rarely do you come across somebody that's like, I don't give a fuck about those tears, and proceed to keep knocking your head between a washer and dryer. See, you ain't came across. Everybody pretty much folds and they're like, oh, Porsha, oh, I'm so sorry. What's wrong? You so sad. You know what I'm saying? And Porsha knows that.
I couldn't even breathe. I was just sorry. That's hard.
She has weaponized femininity to the fullest. Girl, it is. Girl, she could teach a master class, all right, on how to be a dumb bitch.
So what we're gonna do?
If you've ever read the book, The Art of Seduction, they speak on Marilyn Monroe, and what they would say about her is that she used her innocence as a way to not necessarily lure men, but that was her seduction, the innocence of her. And people just wanted to protect her and they wanted to tend to her, okay? And that is the type of aesthetic that Big Poe likes to use from time to time, okay? But yeah, I just thought her tears were just kind of disingenuous. I thought that it was just
a scheme that Todd set up for him to come to you with the bush.
She covers her face so that you can't see the tears, and she makes the crying sounds, and she might scrunch her face up, but as soon as you see her face, there's no tears. Like when we saw Shamina down to Watch What Happens Live, you could hear her choke up. She could barely get her voice right. You could see the tears welling up in her eye. That is an actual emotion, not this Like, girl, cut it out. Cut it out, girl. Like, girl. So, I just found that to be, like, off-putting. Okay, but then we get over to Drew's house. And Drew, girl, I don't even want to waste my time talking about it, but I guess. So she talks to her therapist about everything that's going on and everything else. And the therapist was giving her words of encouragement. And she is aware of everything that's being said about her, you know, about Porsha, trying to paint her to be crazy. And not crazy, but, you know, like, you know, a home wrecker and all that stuff. And it's just a lot. It's a lot with a lot. And I just don't feel like Drew is angry enough.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
And maybe she's just emotionally drained, because I genuinely feel like she's really going through it with blockhead ass Ralph, okay? So she don't really have time to give a whole lot of energy to these ladies, because she is just really going through it. And the person who we should be surrounded with love and support is Drew, but we so focused on fraudulent Porsha that we're not even thinking about Drew. And I just, girl, and my thing is, Drew, you not angry enough for me. Turn some of that situation that you going through with Ralph into rage.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore.
Take all of your anger out on them. That's what's happening with everybody else. Everybody keep projecting and putting their passive aggressive stuff that they feel about one person onto the next person. So, girl, why don't you join the party and clock in, okay? I said I wasn't gonna give her a whole lot, but girl, I did my best. We get down to Projection by Porsha, aka Pamper by Porsha events, okay? And everybody shows up, and I just want to say RIP to Porsha's cousin Lundy. She was in there, and I just was like, dang, she looks fine and well. And it's just amazing how, not amazing, but, you know, it's crazy that you see a person one day and then they're gone the next. And I feel really, really bad about her losing her cousin, because I know how close they were. Everybody has their lingerie on, girl. Now listen, Kelly. Kelly, I ain't saying you look bad, but what the hell was that peacock ass looking, girl? Like, I don't know if Kelly is trying too hard to be fabulous. I just don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that she's not fabulous. She probably is very fabulous. But it just feels forced. Like she wants to give.
I am very rich, bitch.
But then in the meantime, we seeing the newspaper and the tabloids and the blogs and everything else come out about you having all these financial issues. So I'm just like, girl, you are putting so much into this appearance to have it all. And I just want her to be a little bit more authentic, honestly. I think that we connect with you because you have a bubbly personality, but we would really connect and feel closer to you if you give us the authenticity of your troubles. Okay, I'm not saying you can't make it look good, but I'm just saying, like, it does come off a little inauthentic. I know I got a lot off of that, but girl, whatever. So they all had their little looks. Britt looks really good. Not gonna hold you. I mean, they got their titties out, but they look good, okay? She looks good. Drew looks cute. Of course, Cynthia, you know, she gonna come through. And Drew clocked it, girl. She's like, girl, you got us down here doing free press and promo. You just fired me from down to the hair and wig shop. And now you got me in the lingerie outfit trying to promote these daggone bed sheets.
Are we ambassadors for Pamper by Porsha now? Because I know my Go Naked contract was terminated.
Girl, if you don't go sit down somewhere. And another thing, girl, did y'all notice Porsha's temperament in this scene? She seemed very, very irritated. Did you hear the way she snapped at Britt?
Lower yourself, Britt. Hand me the sheet back there.
1, 2, and 3.
Like, when I tell you the way I'm a grown woman and it wouldn't sit well in my spirit for a woman to ever address me, girl, I would have to ask you who you're talking to. There's just no way you're gonna talk to me like that, girl. I don't care who you are. But it's something there. So they take the little photo, you know, they look cute or whatever. And they have all these little, you know, get massages and all this stuff. And so they finally get down to the last scene where they're doing like a meditation. And before we get to the meditation, girl, Kelly and Shamina chat about what was said between Kelly, Drew, and Angela. And Kelly tells Shamina, like, okay, girl, I just didn't feel comfortable. And listen, Kelly, I applaud you for being the bone carrier of this episode alongside big sis Ange, okay? I ain't mad at that. But so she goes and tells Shamina everything that took place, and now Shamina got an attitude. And so when it's time to have a little meditation, everybody's laying down with their eyes closed. Shamina decides, you know what, I'm going to be rebellious. Oh, but girl, I forgot to mention that Porsha said something and it really didn't settle well with my spirit, okay? Girl, she had the nerve to say that she's been identifying in the public as a wife and she just wants to come back out as an independent businesswoman. Sweetheart, no.
No.
You've been out here in the public known as a skeezer, okay? And don't you ever forget that, all right? Because girl, one thing about goddamn Big Po, she is going to deflect, lie, scheme, scam, anything she can to avoid accountability. Girl. But back to everything that's been happening with Shamina. So she's on the bed pouting, having a little tantrum, and she doesn't want to comply because everybody's sleeping, or not even sleeping. Everybody's relaxing and trying to meditate, and Shamina is now making a scene. Now, I'm going to give you my honest opinion. This felt scripted to me. Okay, this did not feel very authentic, but I do feel like it came from an authentic place. This did not feel real. Okay, and then because I don't feel like this feels very real, it also makes me question, is this storyline even real in the first place? It got to be some kind of truth to it, because when the information starts to flowing, those are her real feelings. So I don't know, like it just, that little scene in particular just kind of felt a little forced to me. That's all I'm saying. But anyway, so she has this little tantrum. She decides not to lay down with the rest of the girls. And so Porsha sits up and she's like trying to shush her. And then of course, don't nobody want to be shushed, because again, Porsha's on edge for whatever reason. And Shamina is like, girl, I'm not finna take it. I'm mad. So I'm just gonna be like this. And I'm not gonna lay down. I'm not closing my eyes. I'm not comfortable. And I'm just like, okay, girl, you guys are having a little hissy fit and, you know, whatever. So Kelly goes over to see what's wrong with her. And they have a little chat, or barely chat. Porsha shushes them. Kelly goes back over to her cot. Angela, the floor opens up for the group to discuss, you know, getting something off their chest. Angela says, well, girl, I'm so glad that me and you are able to move past everything. You know, I hope to have positive things from each other in the future. And so Porsha accepts it. And then Kelly clocks in. And I was like, okay, Kelly, girl, you showing up for work too. And she says, well, girl, I think that you guys need to iron out the situation. So now it's already out the bag that Shamea has been having side conversations with Ange, and Ange has relayed the message. And I think that Shamea's problem is that her inner thoughts are now outside and everyone else has tuned in to her inner thoughts. For her to be so upset with Ange over something that you said, it's just like, girl, projections. You're going to get mad at Ange when you really should be mad at Porsha, because now it has come out that Porsha did not just not show up to your Kenya wedding. She didn't show up because she simply didn't fool with you at that time. And the whole time you're thinking that everything's okay, she's over here thinking that y'all weren't on speaking terms. And that was when I knew that the scene was real, because before that I felt like, okay, this feels like
a scheme that Todd set up.
This doesn't feel like an authentic scene for me until that moment. So I'm just like, okay, now it's really getting to the nitty gritty, okay? And now Shamea is finally understanding what's actually happening in her friendship with Porsha. And you know what? I'm not mad at Porsha because listen, you are a grown woman. Porsha is only going to be the type of friend you allow her to be to you. Porsha has standards for herself. It's unfortunate that you don't have standards for yourself. Porsha don't allow you to act any other type of way that she feels is unneeded or unnecessary for her to continue in a friendship with you. However, you just let anything go. And you're just so eager to have her as a friend that she knows that she can get away with anything when it comes to you. You know what I'm saying? So I just find it, a little strange that you just go so hard on Ange and snapped off on Ange, but you don't have any smoke, like real smoke for Porsha. But that's like the end of the episode. Now let me tell you something, okay, Drew? Okay? Because, baby, when I tell you, girl, you are fading into the distance, girl, I don't know where you at. You need to clock in. Girl, I need you to head on down to ICE, and I need you to have a conversation with Simon, because I know he been cooped up in ICE this whole time, and I know that it will be good TV if you go ahead and have a little dinner and drinks and appetizers with Simon. Because the fact that they're willing to go so low, girl, you need to take it to hell. You understand what I'm saying?
I don't want peace. I want problems, always.
Outside of that, that's my only critique about the episode. But yeah, it wasn't a whole lot, girl. I mean, I'm going to try to get to the Watch What Happens Live in a separate video, but that's all I have for right now. And yeah, there's a few other things that happened in the news week that I want to cover, and just bear with me, girl, okay? Yeah. So I guess I'll call you guys back in a little bit. Like and subscribe, hit the notification bell if you are really about that life. And girl, talk to me in these comments, okay? All right. I'm going to call you back later. Bye.